Damn, we know you get stuck on us. Let's go. Hey, HoneyPots. It's been a hot minute and I apologize. Just life has hit us once again. We went through a period of no internet in our house and then just dealing with a lot. That's all I can say for now. I may get into that some other time in the future, but right now I'm not getting into that. If you're wondering about my voice, I have no idea what's going on with that. It seems to take on a life of its own on the weekends. But actually, earlier it was fine. It sounded great. So I don't know what's going on now. Anyways, I wanted to discuss a kind of heavy topic with it, which is dealing with death abroad, mostly about the passing of my father and then the Itaewon tragedy. So if this is not a topic that you want to listen to, or that you feel comfortable listening to, or can listen to in your current state of mind, or that you feel too emotionally invested into this, then I don't want you to listen to it. Anyway, if you know, I don't know if you know, but many people know that my father passed away um, in 2021, at the end of 21, about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks after his birthday. His birthday's in October, and it was a Sunday. I called my dad with my daughter. We had a Bible question. It was exciting. My dad was so excited. He lit up and he was like, I will answer that when I get back. And my mom was like, sorry, I got to take him to the hospital. His breathing's not so good. He's feeling weird. I was like, okay, talk to you later. Later, sadly, never came. My father was admitted in the hospital. It turns out that he had got COVID on top of his pneumonia, which, if you know, those two combinations are never good. And yeah, so I'm yeah, happy, excited, and she was a nurse. She said his oxygen levels are up, it's looking good. So we're planning to go visit him, or no, not visit him, but or she was going to go home. I think she said she was going to make food or something like that. Not even so. I get a call from my brother and my sister, my older brother and sister, which they never called me together. So I knew something was up. And well, I actually already knew. I pretty much already knew. He's like, I don't know how to tell you. I was like, did dad pass away? He's like, yeah, they said he doesn't have much time left. His oxygen levels dropped, blah, blah, blah. And they asked if I'm okay. I said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, I didn't want this to happen, but I'm okay. And they're like, are you going to be okay? Where are you? I'm like, I'm at work. They're like, you're still going to work? I was like, yeah, gotta work. Dad said it was a blessing that I had this job, so I'm going to work it. So I did let my manager know. They said my dad's going to pass away. His oxygen levels dropped drastically low. They said he's not going to make it. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I said, okay, I just need a second before I start my class. I went to the bathroom as I usually do before. I told myself, Karen, you have to make it through because, your kiddos need you. And so, yeah, honestly, it wasn't, I didn't feel so overwhelmed emotionally until I had to tell my daughter. And telling your daughter that her grandfather passed away or telling anyone else that their family member passed away it's crazy to me. It doesn't make sense. I'm just like, dang, we just talked about him. And the worst part is we didn't get to talk to him since that Sunday. I believe he passed away on a Thursday or a Friday or something. Because I don't know which it is because Korea versus US time. Um, And it's just so, so, so frustrating that that happened. Um, and then we didn't get to talk with him, you know, again after. But I'm grateful that we got, good last conversation. It was a good conversation. He was happy that we asked him that question. I just am very sad I never got the answer. And now I don't even remember the question. My sister was like, I could try to answer it for you. And I'm like, honestly, don't remember the question now. It was a question that was from my daughter's Bible show. And she watched a Bible show and she asked me. And I said, oh, I know we can call your grandpa. He'll know. And yeah, just very, very sad about that. Um, but I'm also happy because, we got to see him on the camera. My daughter got to see him. We said, love you and bye. Didn't know that would be the last love you and bye, but, um, I'm grateful for that because it could have been a lot of other things. But since we're abroad, we couldn't go home for my dad's funeral. We didn't have the funds. And also now my family is scrambling money, like trying to figure out how they're going to pay for the funeral. The funeral was all the way in November. I mean, not all the way, but like maybe 2.5, 3 weeks later, after his passing, we did get to go. And I believe the end of November to December. I don't think it was, yeah, until after Christmas. So I think it was after Thanksgiving to after Christmas or something like that. I don't remember. Maybe Thanksgiving and Christmas we were there. It was so strange. First, we got to see the funeral here. Thank you, technology. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, internet. I'm so grateful for you because I was able to see my father's funeral live online, and it was beautiful. There's a lot of people commenting. My family had passed out papers around town letting people know that my father had passed. My dad is what people called a walking evangelist because he had a ministry license and he would walk around and minister to people. So they called him the walking evangelist. Like almost everyone knew him in our town. Mr. Curry, Mr. Curry. I can remember people shouting his name. My dad was pretty loved. So like everyone at Home Depot knew him and loved him. So yeah, they put up the thing about his passing. A lot of people said, they were so sorry. People sent money to my mom's to the GoFundMe and the Cash App. Later, my family was able to get us there. Of course, after the funeral, we got to go to the graveside. If you see our Instagram, you could see those pictures. Um, I apologize, guys. It's like 5 a.m. 5 a.m. So the yawning came in. I apologize. But when we got there, it was so weird. It's so surreal. One, because it's such a difference. I don't get homesickness really being in Korea because I've been here so long. And then when I go home, like I don't get homesickness. But like it didn't seem real. And I think that is something that happens when there's death abroad, or death while you're abroad, I should say. I think that when you go back to kind of your old life, your old home, you it's hard for you to feel like things are real. It's hard for you to feel that things are functioning properly because even on my normal times back home, like I still feel like that. I feel like I'm in some sort of simulation. But I think it's also the whole thing about getting in a plane. Planes are freaking weird. Getting in a plane, flying to the US, landing there, you're at an airport, gotta get a car to go back to your house. Like, why can't I just be there? Like sometimes I get that feeling like, why can't I just be at my job? Why can't I just be at this other place like that I want to go? Why do I have to walk the streets? Why do I have to fly in a plane? Why do I have to do all this stuff? It just seems so surreal sometimes in life. It just doesn't seem realistic anymore. It feels like we're all in this weird simulation. It's just crazy sometimes. I know that's weird to you guys that I'm saying that, but that's how I feel sometimes. And I will tell you, my dreams are very vivid, very real, very intense at times. Um, They can even raise my blood pressure. It's really awful sometimes. So after my father's death, I had a lot of dreams about him. He would come to my dreams a lot, and if there's a problem, he would come in my dreams. Sometimes I have dreams about going and knocking on his door to his bedroom, and he's not there or something. So yeah, my dreams are very vivid, very raw. I had I broke down crying one day a couple months ago because someone came to our door here in Korea, banged on our door, and all I saw was an orange shirt and I saw a black hand. They were wearing a black glove and an orange shirt. My dad always wore orange shirts for his job. And the way they were knocking on the door was like how my dad would knock on the house door or on somebody's room door. He's trying to get in and upset. So I was really scared because I got up and I was like, Dad. And then I'm like, and it was somebody for the wrong house. It wasn't even for me. So I went through all this like anxiety and built up, I don't even know, like emotion because I thought it was my dad, but it wasn't my dad. And I started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, this is so stupid. Why am I crying over somebody in an orange shirt? But that's grief and that's what it does to you. And it sucks. It sucks so bad sometimes of being abroad. And I, was a freelancer since 2019. So I've been doing my own thing. But I found that it was harder for me to function after my dad's death. It was harder for me to function for a couple of months. Like, I was like, I need to teach online. I was like, but I don't know, because what if somebody asked me about death, or what if somebody asked me to read an article about people dying, or, some accident? Like, I just can't do that right now. I can't do that. I just wanted to lie in bed. I wanted to feel comforted. I wanted my daughter to hold me, but she's got to go to school too. Like, there were so many things going on in my mind. And then the death of my friend, like my friend had died here in Korea too on her way exiting out of the country. She ended up collapsing in a hotel lobby on her way, we think, to the hospital. Like, bruh, like, man, it's too much. Death is too much when you're abroad, especially when somebody was about to go back to the States. Or when you're stuck here and your family's there. It's a lot to take in. And then to pile the Itaewon tragedy. Oh my gosh, someone was on my feet, guys. To pile the Itaewon tragedy on top of that, bruh, it is way too much. Like, I found that, like, I was trying to work through the death of my father, the death of my friend. I thought I was straight. I was like, I'm good. If I cry some days, I cry. But overall, I'm good. Like, I got this. I can function again. Like, I'm really functioning. I'm working out more because, I want to do what my daddy had told me to be working on. I want to, as people say, make their parents proud. People seem to work harder after death. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm working to lose this weight like I'm supposed to get my health in order for my child and for myself. And so I've been dropping the weight like I was supposed to, like I was doing anyway. After my dad's death, I didn't work out for a while, man. I just couldn't bring myself to be seen on camera. I didn't do any lives. I didn't do nothing. I did start working back out, and then I didn't go live for that time either. And now I'm back. I'm back to live and working out consistently. The other thing is, I've been eating better, been not trying to up my sodium, all that stuff that my dad had constantly told me because I keep hearing his voice in my head. But when this Itaewon tragedy happened, man, that's a whole different game, man. That's a whole different flow. Like, because I live out here and my kiddo and I were just out in Itaewon streets the night before the accident happened in that same area. Somebody had pushed us and almost knocked us over. And the crazy part is there wasn't even that many people. And I was just like, bruh, and I just told my daughter, like, one of the worst things could happen, I said, is if somebody pushed us and you fell and people tried to trample all over you. I was like, that's my worst nightmare. Like, I don't want that to happen. Like I said, I will do my best. I said, I will fight people off you. I said, I will be throwing bows, making people pass the freak out. I said, because there is no way I'm going to let you get trampled all over. I'm not going to have my daughter be dead like that. And she was like, Mommy, don't say that. That's scary to me. I was like, baby, but I got to help you be safe. Like, I got to help you know how to be safe out here. I said, if mommy's doing something dumb and putting you in dangerous way, that's on me. I said, I gotta fight off people. I said, I gotta be mama bear and fight off people because you're not gonna be able to fight off people if you fall down. I said, I will cover your body with my body. I said, I will be on all fours over you to protect you and make sure you get out. I said, I'll do what I got to do. I said, I'm about to put you over this railing in a second. I said, if somebody push me again, I said, if I fall and make you fall, I said, I'm going to push. I said, I'm going to make sure that I get you over this rail. I'm going to ask this dude for help. Because there was a guy right next to us. And there's a railing there. And I could ask for help. And it wasn't even that many people, just people being dumb behind us and saying, push. I'm like, bro, we'll be fine and getting through the crowd as long as you don't freaking push. But that started building my anxiety up. And people don't know, but I worked through claustrophobia before coming to Korea. I thought I was going to go to Japan. So like a year before, I had worked through not even just a year before, but years before, I had been working through getting over my claustrophobia. I had been purposely getting into elevators that have a lot of people. I've been purposely putting myself in more crowded spaces before because it would raise my anxiety. I already knew I didn't want to be in those types of spaces. I don't like being confined. I got too much energy to be confined anyway. Yeah, so after dealing with that the night before and then hearing of the deaths, and we were going to go back to Itaewon, but thankfully somebody in the train station, well, also the time wasn't right because we actually missed our train back to Itaewon. We got on like the last train. It stopped before I stopped, I think like at Hyochong Park or something, like way before I stopped. We had to get a bus run to a bus because there was like I think it was almost the end of the bus thing because it was like almost midnight. So the bus was still going. I think there was like maybe two buses left. We booked it to the other bus station that was like down the street around the corner, and we made it. Got on our bus. Thankfully, got home, and we got all the emergency alerts like, oh my gosh, oh, Dad, please come to T1. Thing Twitter, worst idea of my life. I saw people losing their life live on Twitter. And I said, no, I said, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. And because of hearing and seeing that it was something similar that could have just happened to us the night before, just because people were pushing us, not even because it was crowded, but just because people were being poops and being little poop heads and just wanted to push through the crowd because they were impatient. Like I think about how many people could have still been alive in the Itaewon tragedy if people weren't pushing. Or, or like how many times I've said on that street, if they had a thing where people can only go down one side, if they put the little line thing and made it to where people can only go out one way, people can only come in one way, if they had that barrier there, so that it can be a nice flow. And if people want to go to the other side to get into the clubs on the other side, they have to go all the way down and then go all the way back up. Or they should make it to where one is only coming down. You can't go back up it. So if they made that where that was a flow out, it would have made so much more sense. And they should have closed off that subway. I don't understand why they didn't close off that subway station because it's like there were so many freaking people trying to come out of the subway. People couldn't even get out of the subway station. That's scary. You're literally stuck in the subway station. I would have jumped right back on that car because ain't no way. Because I already saw what happened when it flooded in Korea and all the people were in the station when the flood happened. So I'm not even a fan of that. I always try to think about what I can do in a safety situation, like in an emergency situation. What can I do to keep my child and myself safe? And thankfully, my friend Paul from the channel Taste Soul Good was live streaming at ET1 that night. So because of him, I already knew it was too crowded. And I had told him at first, I was like, oh yeah, we plan to go to Home Day and then we're going to come back to Italy. He was like, I don't recommend you coming back because it's just really too crowded. And he said, if you do, you should stay by the McDonald's side or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. So I'm watching his live as I'm getting ready. And I told Lily, I don't think we're going to go to Itaewon tonight. I said, there's way too many people. I said, there's way too many people. Like, I just got this feeling in my gut that there's too many people. And I'm watching his live. And he was like, my friend was like, this does not feel safe. He was like, I'm worried that someone's going to get hurt. And he was like, this seems like something after a tragedy. And there were so many people who said the same thing. But now, even if I'm in a crowd, y'all, it's hard. It's so hard for me to be in the crowd. And I hate that because I worked so hard to get to this point to not feel like this. And I'm trying to watch Stephanie Sue's video on the Itaewon tragedy because I want to hear everything that happened. But I'm like, I can't. I want to, but I can't. Like, I need to. Like, at the same time, I feel like I need to watch it because these are people that I knew too. Like, I knew somebody who died. And then I feel like the French chef guy didn't get even noticed about his death, and like that hurts me. Like, I want to hear everything. I want to know everything because these are people, a lot of expats just like me, a lot of freaking Koreans just like my daughter, man. It was young people 10 years younger than me, some freaking students, like younger students, high school students, like bruh. Like, I've done a good job working through it. It's still only been months. Like, it's crazy. It seems like a far off event, but maybe to some people, like, it seems like it was far off. And it's crazy to me that people in the world still don't know what happened. People who are still interested in Korea still don't know what happened here. That's what's crazy to me. I was like, was it not broadcast all over the world? Was this not breaking news everywhere? And there's still people who are like, what is that? What happened to Itaewon? What was the Itaewon tragedy? Why did people die in Itaewon? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just like blown away, and it kind of frustrates me. It's like, you say you really love Korea, you want to be a part of Korea, but you only know K-pop. You don't even know about the biggest accident that just happened here in October. Like, how do you not know about the Itaewon tragedy? And you're saying that you love Korea, you love everything about it. Like, you gotta know Korea's pain too. I'm sorry, that you gotta know Korea's pain. You should know about the Sewol tragedy because that was a big incident with all these high school babies where they drowned in the boat. And you got to know about the fires in the Jimjo box that killed people. And you have to know about the Itaewon tragedy because it wasn't just Koreans; it was also foreigners too. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, especially when being abroad and having death overseas is one thing because there's a disconnect. You feel it, but it's not as powerful. But being here and actually living in the area where the tragedy takes place and something this big as the Itaewon tragedy, it's overwhelming, man. I wasn't even there. I have friends who were there who administered CPR, who had people die in their arms. And I watch a lot of crime shows. I watched a lot of crime shows with my dad. I've seen a lot of TV murder. I've seen a lot of TV death. Um, but seeing real death, man, from people you might have bumped into on the street, people who may have seen your picture before, people you have met. It's heartbreaking. It is definitely heartbreaking. You can't go back to being the same. You change for the better. I wish no one to have someone who died overseas. I wish that no one have any death happen in their family except of old age. I hope that you guys get any assistance and help you need working through the trauma that comes with accidents like this or death of a family member or friend. And I wish you all the best. Kujem Ren out. And I'll see you on the next one.